Hi y'all, welcome back to the channel. I hope you all are doing really well. Today I am going to be in the world of Willow Creek doing an EA renovation of the BFF house. Now, the BFF house is in sort of the starter neighborhood of Willow Creek. The three Sims that live there are Travis, Summer, and Liberty. They are some of my favorite Sims. Pretty much all of my early, very first Sim games involve one or all of them at some point. So this was really exciting for me. I've never renovated one of the existing houses in any world in The Sims, which is kind of insane. I'm really surprised it took me this long to do this, actually. But I was thinking about it and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to jump in and do one of the Willow Creek homes. And this one, of course, was one of the first ones on my list. So I decided to take a whack at it. I think I make it look better. You all may disagree. Let me know in the comments. I struggled a little bit, actually, much more than I thought I was going to. With this one, the way that this house is set up, it's so long. It was really hard for me to kind of make things work. I wanted to change it enough and not just, change the fixtures and the exterior paint. I tried to change the floor plan at least a little bit, and I do. I think I make it look better. We'll see throughout this video what you all think. But I tried to give at least the three Sims, I definitely tried to spend a little bit of time on their rooms and try to make their rooms a little bit more what I picture their characters would look like, specifically Travis, and we'll get to that. We'll get to that here in a minute. But this is me trying to figure out, like I said, the floor plan. I don't change too much, but I do make Travis's room much bigger. He's such a small room in the original home, and I made Liberty's room a little bit smaller, and I also extended the bathroom to make it a little bit bigger and make it sit at the end of the hallway and kind of make it a little bit more straightforward, I guess. The floor plan makes more sense to me this way. You may disagree, but we'll see. I did cut out a lot of me playing with the windows. It took me ages to find windows that I thought kind of fit the Willow Creek vibe, but that also weren't the exact windows that were already on the house. For the exterior, I went with sort of a black and white theme. So like I said, the windows are black and they've got white trim around them. And I also went with that black brick with the white siding on the top and sort of like a black brick foundation, and just pretty much black and white for the exterior. But I do like the way the exterior turned out with the columns and me putting that sort of like, is it a bay window? Is that what it is? Like that we got from Laundry Day that I don't use near enough because it's so pretty in the kitchen. But anyway, just did a few things like that. I moved the front porch around just a little bit and I put the stairs on the right side rather than having the door facing forward. I made it face the other way. And then I do a little bit of light landscaping. I give them a little pathway and I'm adjusting the roof right now currently. Again, I struggled with the roof a ton. I wanted to make it slightly different, and I do make it slightly different, but it's still very much the same, straightforward house with a little bit on the side. But I mean, I think it looks fine. I'm not going to complain. Doing a little bit of the flooring and the walls. Like I said, I do a little bit of light landscaping outside after I come in here to do the floors. I pretty much tried to stick with like blue and purple flowers for this build, which excuse me, is usually, most of the time I go with white, or in some of my earlier builds, I just kind of threw all the colors of the flowers in there. But for this one, I decided to go with blue, which I think looks really nice. And I'm really pleased with the landscaping. It's very minimal. I did not go crazy with the landscaping. I don't imagine that Travis and Summer and Liberty spend much time on their garden. I did try, while I was making this build, I did try to kind of imagine them as very young adults. So maybe like 21, 22, something like that, which may be their actual age in some years, who knows. But that's kind of what I imagined. I imagined that they're not really, super together. Their house looks more cohesive, if you ask me. I think it looks very much more upscale and put together, but it's definitely not like something that a 50-year-old person would have in their house, if that makes sense. Like the colors are very bright and it's a little bit wacky, and you'll see when we get inside. But when I was doing the landscaping for this, that's what I was getting at, was that I wanted to keep it very basic and very simple for these Sims, because I don't imagine that it's very high on their priority list to make sure that their flowers match. So it's mainly bushes and then a few like little lilac things in there. And then I've added a few trees. on the exterior to kind of make it look like this house has been there a while. I love Willow Creek for that reason. I love all of the trees there. It just feels like an old classic neighborhood. But anyway, I think it turns out really well. I like the trees. I put a little bit of grass around them and some dirt to kind of make them look like they've been there. But then I'm going to move on to the interior. Moving on to the kitchen. I wanted to use some tile for like a backsplash, and now that I have Jungle Adventure, which yes, I'm still obsessed with it, I put it that in the kitchen with that blue and gray swatch, which is so pretty. Oh my goodness, it's so nice. And then I was going to use this like light sort of minty color for the walls, but I thought it might be a little bit too much. I wanted to have lots of color in the houses for these Sims, but I didn't want that much color, so I kind of go for this like sort of like greenish blue. It's sort of a toned down mint, I guess, but it still really matches the blue in the tile swatch. So I was really happy with that. And then I went and used the white cabinets that we got from Jungle Adventure. I'll use those for the foreseeable future. They're my new favorite cabinets. They have officially surpassed Parenthood as my new favorite cabinets. So yay, good for you. But anyway, putting a few head cabinets up, trying to get them to center over that stove. That was a little bit of a headache, but I got it to work. Put a hood up there. And then I'm really pleased with this kitchen, actually. I do manage to give them an island and to give them a little breakfast nook and a dining table. I would love this home if I was rooming with my friends and I was 21 years old. Like, this place is amazing. But yeah, just putting the sink in there and a couple of other things. I don't go crazy with clutter in the kitchen. I just didn't feel like they would necessarily have a bunch of clutter. I don't feel like they necessarily have all of their like kitchen utensils together because they're just kind of starting out on their own. So I didn't put too much time into it. I do put a lot of plants in this little breakfast nook and sitting in that little bench. I imagine that Liberty specifically in my head is a Sim that loves plants, and so I imagine that she's kind of gone in and created all these little worlds for her plants and takes care of them and makes sure that they have lots of places to sit and make the room look really pretty. So that's I had Liberty in mind while I was putting all this stuff. Liberty Lee is one of my absolute favorite townie Sims. She is friends with pretty much any Sim that I create. They always get on really well. She's so cute, and I love playing and being friends with Liberty. I've never actually played as Liberty, but she's always a part of my little Sim worlds that I come up with. But so I have a little place in my heart for her. And fun fact, my very first Sim that I ever made ended up marrying Travis, and I'm on like generation 4, I think, with them. I've been going a long time. I haven't played with that game in a long time, but it's still there. I don't have the heart to delete that. Travis has since passed on, of course, but anyhow, I'm getting ahead of myself. So just putting a few things in the kitchen. I did give them a coffee maker, and then console finally got the update where we got that cute little book item that I have been seeing so many people use and that I've been wanting to use so badly, but finally got that update. We've not got the complete rebrand yet like PC players have, but we'll get there eventually. We will get there. Anyway, you're gonna see move on to the living room now. I wanted to explain down in the corner, you're gonna see that all of my like new items are turned yellow in the build view down there. That's because in between the first half of this build and the second half of this build, PlayStation was having another sale, and so I have purchased Get to Work, what's the other one, Dine Out, and Cool Kitchen stuff. So I had already created the kitchen, so I didn't put any new kitchen stuff in there yet, but I wanted to so bad. Anyway, so that's why I wanted to explain why I've all of a sudden got new items that I'm not using. But anyhow, moving on to the living room, I decided to use the furniture that came with Seasons. That furniture usually fits more with outdoor spaces, if you ask me, but I loved that swatch so much in the white with the black cushions. Oh my gosh, like that's so cute. And so of course I had to use it. The wood matched what I was going for, so I do that, and then I do a bunch of color elsewhere. I wanted to give them a really colorful rug, and then I do put a lot of really large artwork on the walls in here. I wanted it to seem very young and youthful. I didn't want it to seem too stuffy, like, they're super old or anything like that. So, like, I put that piece of art right there with the leaves. I think it looks really cool, and I was trying to go with that bluish green vibe, at least for this great room with the kitchen and the living room and the dining room. I wanted to use blue as at least, sort of a theme, but just put a few clutter items around and about, some on the TV stand and some on that really great industrial bookshelf. I love it. I was going to use that new one that we got with the update that sort of hangs on the wall, but I don't know. I don't know exactly how I feel about that yet. I love the style of it, but I don't know that I like it hanging off the wall like that. It just kind of looks like it's just kind of there. Like, I feel like I might have to merge it with like a table or something. I've seen other people do that, but anyhow, I was trying to put some curtains in here. You all know how I feel about curtains by now if you're a longtime watcher. If you're not, I feel like the curtains, most of the time they take away from the build, so a lot of times I just don't put them in there. I did put them in the bedrooms, so compromise. But moving on to the little dining area, I used that table from Backyard Stuff. I have never used it in any build, but I thought that the runner was really like in a nice color, and I thought it kind of worked with the youthfulness of this home. So yeah, really pleased with that. I think it's really cute. Of course, I use my favorite wicker dining chairs. They're so cute. And then put a couple of things in the corner. I do merge that I think I merged that pot with a plant. I think I end up making it work. Yes, I do. And I think it looks really sweet. Put a rug underneath there, and that's pretty much it for the dining room. I do put some artwork on the walls, but other than that, kept it really simple. Didn't want to go too crazy. And then I will start working on Travis's and Summer and Liberty's rooms. Now, Travis's room in the original BFF house is tiny. It is so tiny. He has that little twin bed with the guitar on it, which I don't think works for a young adult sim. If he's close to being a teenager, maybe, but I don't know. But I tried to paint the walls in colors that I thought matched their clothing and like what their favorite colors would be. So Travis, if you recall, is wearing that red sweater, and he's got like this blue argyle on the front of it. So I went with sort of like light blue walls, and then I kind of went with little red accents throughout his room. I really like how his room turned out, actually. I think it looks really nice, and I think it fits Travis. Now, Travis has I think he's the geek sim. I know that he works in the tech career, or I'm pretty sure he works in the tech career. So I made sure to give him a really nice computer and a real nice chair and desk and all of that stuff. Something where he could sit in here and do his work or game or whatever he feels like doing. And I did give him red curtains, as you'll notice. But anyway, picked out a dresser and a mirror, and I went with that desk. The wood doesn't match, which bugs me, but the red accents were too perfect not to get it. So I gave him that desk, and I gave him that red chair and the red lamp. And I think this area looks really cool. I never use that desk chair. I think it looks a little bit too workish, but since he's in the tech career, I decided to use it, and I might have to use it more because I think it looks really, really great. But just put a couple of things on the walls. I really, really struggle with artwork for these Sims. I just struggle with artwork, period. I want all the artwork in all the colors and in all of the like tones and, sort of, I don't know. I want so much artwork. But anyway, I did give Travis an aquarium and a little journal, and then put a couple of lamps there, picked out a few more pieces of artwork, and then I do give him a rug underneath his bed. And I believe that's the end of Travis's room. Give him a couple more clutter items here and there just to try to fill out the space. And my favorite corner plant ever, this one that I end up ultimately picking. I tried a million of them. That one right there in the really, really tall vase. It works perfect with like counters and things like that. But I found that rug in that red and blue swatch. So I was like, yes, there we go. And then I move on to Liberty's room. Now, Liberty's room, she obviously purple, of course, because of her cute little shirt. And she also has like yellow pants. So I went with that bed. I can't remember what pack it came from. It might be Base Game, or it might be City Living, actually. Anyway, I went with that pack. It is City Living. I went with that swatch because of the purple bed, and it sort of got like a pale yellow like edge around the comforter, I guess. Anyway, I really, really liked it. Picked that like lilac mirror that we got, and then also that dresser, and I ended up giving her the City Living curtains that match her bed. It took me ages to try to find purple curtains that I thought were going to work, but luckily that one fit at least on those two windows. I leave these two blank, and then I went to find some purple artwork. I'm discovering filters. They've always been there, but I'm just now discovering them to pick out colored stuff, and it's such a lifesaver. Gosh, it's amazing. But Liberty, she has some logic points, I believe, logic skills. So I wanted to give her a chess table in her room, just something that she can sit there and, build up her logic skills. And I believe she also I can't exactly remember. Oh, she's an astronaut. That's what it is. She's an astronaut. So I also gave her a computer desk so that she could work on those skills and do work or whatever she needed to. I don't do the exact same desk that I give Travis. I end up giving her a different swatch and a little purplish pink chair and a slightly older computer. I imagine that she's not quite as into computers and technology as Travis is. So I gave her a little bit of an older computer, put some clutter here and around, made sure to give Liberty a plant since I imagine that all the plants in the home are hers. And then I leave Liberty's room at that. I do give her a purple rug that I think looks really sweet. And then I move on to Summer's room. Summer, I struggled with. Summer, what is her career again? I can't exactly remember. Oh, she's the chef career. That's what it is. And I mean, she already has a kitchen, so I didn't necessarily know what to put in her room that was going to stimulate either her interest or her career. I know that she's kind of into fitness. From what I've seen, she does push-ups a lot during gameplay, so but I didn't necessarily give her anything in her room that's going to stimulate any, skills or hobbies or anything like that. I did give her the vanity table that we got with Vintage Glamour because I love that piece and I've not necessarily found any way to use it yet. So I decided to give it to Summer. I think it looks really nice in there. With Summer's room, I went with sort of like an ice blue and like a white. Which I think looks really nice. Summer's room is a little bit less thought out, I guess, than the others. Like I said, I don't know. I kind of struggled with what to give her since, cooking is her career and all of that. But anyhow, I think her room ends up looking really nice. I found some nice artwork to put on the walls. There's a lot of blue artwork, so ended up not being too bad. But it does take me a long time to go through there and pick all of that stuff out. But I end up forgoing, here I am putting a bookshelf on that wall. I end up forgoing that bookshelf and I end up doing floating shelves in there, which I think fills out the space a lot better. I'm actually really pleased with my decision to do that. But I do give Summer a little plant in the corner, a really easy plant to take care of. I don't imagine that she's necessarily, a huge plant lady like Liberty is, but anyway, just found a little piece of art for that. And then I do end up putting some clutter around and about, especially on that vanity. I need to use that vanity more often. It's really, really cute. It's such a nice item. It also comes in a lot of really great colors too, especially with the gold accents. Oh, I love the gold accents. Maybe that's something that I'll do in the future. Leave comments down below what you'd like to see me do. I do read them. I love to see what you all would like to see me build. I want to do builds for you. But yeah, you'll see me put in the floating shelves right there with some books and a couple of statues and that little binder set right there. And I slice down a pot from Jungle Adventure, and that is pretty much the end of Summer's room, I believe. And then you're going to see me head on to the bathroom, which is the final room in this build. I think this bathroom turned out really, really sweet. I'm so glad that I actually had room to put in like a large cabinet or a large countertop and use that little Parenthood organizer cabinet in there. And I just think it really looks really nice. I put in sort of an L-shaped in here, and I was able to put in 2 sinks and a nice little mirror, and it just looks really nice. I would love to have this bathroom, even if I was sharing with people. Like this is great. But yeah, I put in a couple of sinks, and then I go crazy with accents. Most of the time, I don't have the room in the bathrooms that I build to put accents in, so I did rugs, I did towels, I did everything and I loved it. I used that little footstool. I think that came with Jungle Adventure maybe, and I end up putting a candle on it. I think that looks really sweet. I've seen so many builders use that, and I've always wanted to, and now I can. But you'll see me stacking up the towels. I thought 3 was too high, so I'd get rid of those pink ones and get it down to 2 towels stacked up on that counter, which I think looks really, really nice. I love that. I do end up putting a plant in here and just a few little clutter items around. I put in, of course, the toothbrushes and the little sort of caddy with the bath products in it and a soap dispenser. And that's pretty much it. You'll see me put a few things on the walls. I did use that laundry day shelf and move the toilet over a little bit so your sim could get there. I love that item so much. But yeah, you'll see me put a plant in here in the candle, and that's pretty much it for this build. So thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Like I said, drop in the comments if you have something you want to see me do, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.